Hello everyone, this is Ian Flanagan. Welcome to the Inner Circle Mastermind question and answer here. I am your host. Those of you that don't know me, I'm a full-time real estate entrepreneur. I've had my hands in residential real estate for the past decade. I see a lot of you guys joining right now. Carlos, see a couple more. Brandy Lewis, how you doing, Brandy? Thank you for the heart. Hey, listen guys, share the scope. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, and listen, if you guys are interested in real estate, you have found the right spot. So we are going to jump in, and I'm going to leave my little, I still cannot find my first deal. That's tough. That's tough. That's actually really tough. You know, I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover a lot of things about your first deal, how to jump in, how to get your first deal going, and stuff like that. But we are going to jump into some questions. So I am doing great. Paula, thank you so much. It is cold in Las Vegas. I love Vegas. I haven't been out there in a while. Vince, home of the Chiefs. Yeah, that's too bad that your guys actually just went back to California. All right, Dorothy, is it possible to wholesale a house which has had a fire and it's $150,000 below ARV? Oh my gosh, Dorothy. Yes, and yes. So if you have a house that you know that is literally worth, I'm guessing, let's say $300,000, just because that's half. Yes, all day long, you can absolutely profit on that. What you need to do is get it under contract. Get it under contract. If you don't know how to write a contract up, you're part of my inner circle. Send it over. I'll help you out. We have a resource area. You have a resource center in your inner circle. There's contracts there. If you need help filling it out, just send over the question. Log in. Send the questions over. If you need extra little hand holding, I don't mind doing that for you, because if you can lock up a deal $150,000 below ARV, there are a lot of builders. There are a lot of investors that'll take that. So those of you that are on Periscope, if you have questions, fire those at me. I'm going to be answering those kind of in the order that they come in. And I'm going to keep my screen like this, just because whenever I flip it around, I'll flip this around. But whenever I flip the screen around, for whatever reason, on the very bottom of my phone, I can't see the questions that come up unless there's a bunch of questions scrolling. That's the only way that I can see the questions. So if you have a question on Periscope, go ahead and type that in. I'm going to keep this flipped the other way just so it's easier, so I can see every single question that comes in. So let's see here. There we go. I'll just put it right there. So yeah, Dorothy, if you have, you just need to get a hold of them, put it under contract. I'm assuming that it's about a $300,000 deal, just because you say it's $150,000 under ARV. I'm just going to guess that's 50 cents on the dollar. What is Periscope again? Paula, Periscope is an app where people from all around the world can stream live video. And when I mean live, when they hit broadcast, like I hit broadcast now, it's an actual live feed directly from my phone. You see what I see, and then you can see me. I can flip that around so you can see me as well. So those of you that are on Periscope, ask me some questions. This is one of those. In California, what is a good list for direct mail, and where would I get the list? Okay, direct mail is very highly competitive, and I'm going to go over some marketing because I have a question about finding sellers. So there's a lot of people that are mailing to a lot of lists. There's probate lists, there's absentee owner lists, there's code violations, absentee landlords, which is people that own houses that live somewhere else that don't live in them. Notice of defaults. There's a whole laundry list. Expired listings. There's a whole laundry list of lists that you can mail to. But one of the most successful campaigns that I've run over the years that continues to drive leads to me is the demographic of people that are 55 years and older okay, 55 years and older, that have owned their house for 15 years and longer. So I get a little bit more specific, and I don't care if they live in it or they don't live in it, because I know that someone that had bought a home, if they're 55 years old and they're a little bit long, they're a little bit older, then that's going to fall into one of those categories that could be distressed. It could be something like that. So you can buy an absentee list and or somebody that has a property that lives in it. But here's the key: is the 55 and older that have owned it for 15 years or longer. So whatever you can do to scrape that list. So go here. Here's a good list broker for you. God, what's the last one? There's a lot of different ones. ListSource.com has been one of them. Are you an agent or a wholesaler? You know what, Federico? I'm both. I've been wholesaling for years and I'm licensed, so yeah, I get involved with a lot of those deals. List Source is a great one. There's a lot of list brokers out there. You can just literally Google list broker, and there's tons of them out there. They're very easy to find, and you'll pay anywhere from 10 to 30 cents a lead or something like that. So, Paula, I hope that answered your question about what Periscope is. It's just an app that you can literally stream. Is it better to use a yellow letter or postcards? Here's the key to that. If you get a list, you want to make sure that you have a campaign of several letters and postcards. And here's the best way to run your campaigns. You have to think about this. You want to tap the pain, provide the solution. So if you are mailing to a list where people are behind on payments, you want to start off your marketing. Are you behind on payments? Are you about to lose your house to foreclosure? That's the pain part, right? Don't let a foreclosure ruin your credit. Now we're going to provide the solution. I buy houses. I can take over your payments. I can get you the cash you need to move on. I can save your credit. And then you want to leave a call to action. Call now. Here's my website. So tap the pain, provide the solution, and leave a call to action. So the best way to do it, if what you want to do is you want to have several marketing pieces already ready to go. So you can do a yellow letter first, then you can do a formal letter, then you can do a postcard. So you can do all these different steps. And listen, if you guys want to learn more about how to do this in detail, I'm having an event coming up in Phoenix here in a couple months, and you can go to ianspecialoffer.com/event, and you can get 3 days with me and my team, and we will literally spill the beans and then tell you guys exactly how we're doing these campaigns. How many times should you write to one list? Here's the thing, is you can take one list and you can mail to it for a couple of years. Now, you just have to measure your ROI based off of, how much money, how much capital you have in the deal. What's your return on investment? What's my outlay? And then what's my return? So you want to divide that in there, and make sure you run your numbers based off of how much outlay do I have for that month? How many leads am I getting? And then am I monetizing those leads, and am I buying houses? So there's a lot of different ways that you can go about it, but you want to do them in sequences. And then also you want to storyboard your marketing. So on the bottom of your marketing, you want to, share a little bit of your personality and basically let them know, hey, I'm going to reach out to you next month. And then the next month say, hey, I sent you a postcard last month. So, there's a lot of things that you can do to really spice up your marketing. If I can't make it to your class, do you have some home study course I can get? Well, I tell you what, here is one right here that you can get into, and this is basically a free video course on how to match buyers and sellers. It's the fastest way to make money in real estate. I'll call it my wholesaling options program, which is ianspecialoffer.com/free. You can get started right there. And I'll give you free training on how to get started with that one as well. So I'm going to review some questions here. All right. Paula, do you guys have some questions? So, Paula has a question here. Can you hold a note on a deal for or with me? Yes, I understand Periscope. She's in the go-to-webinar mode. Okay. See, here's the deal, Paula. You have to either create a note or buy and sell a note, or buy a note for yourself, whatever the case may be. You know, that's the thing is, I can help you with that, but I can't necessarily be in the deal with you. I mean, and once you go through it once, you don't necessarily need me. You just need somebody to kind of help you and point you in the right direction and kind of answer some questions. So yeah, I can help you out. Are the contracts and scripts provided? I'm in Houston. Absolutely, Federico. There's on this, you know, this one right here is the intro to the course here, which is the ianspecialoffer.com/free. Go input your information in there, which is just your first name and your email address. I'm not asking you for anything else, and I'll send you a series of videos that will have a lot of information on there. You know, the course is very inexpensive, but I send you a free one right up front that kind of taps into all that. You know, and if you guys want to come down to the event, then you're definitely doing that. Are you doing mentoring or coaching? Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to my, let's see here. I actually have a page that you can apply for the mentorship program. And it's freedominvestingacademy.com/apply. And if you're serious about taking your real estate business to the next level, then you can absolutely go to that site and apply. And I will put you in the queue myself, or one of my staff members will call you up and we can have a conversation. So Chris, where is the best place to start as a beginner with the intention to go full time? Well, Chris, being the matchmaker is absolutely the fastest way to do that. Once again, you can go right there, ianspecialoffer.com/free. And it's a course about putting deals together, matching buyers and sellers, because that's ultimately what you do with real estate. You have a buyer and a seller, and everybody, there's a lot of different ways to match them together. You can do it as a wholesaler. So if you're a wholesaler, you're contacting, you're doing marketing, motivated sellers call you, you make them an offer on their property, you get it under contract, and then you basically market that property to your database of cash buyers. One of your cash buyers wants it, then boom, you put a deal together, you have a spread on it, and then absolutely you make money right there. Now, the easier way, what I like to do is, I call it, you know, being the matchmaker. I'm going to take somebody else that already did all the legwork, they did all the marketing. It doesn't cost you anything. It's your time to build a relationship with someone is what it is. You know, I actually just sent one out today. I send them out all the time. You know, not every single one, you know, produces a check, but you know what? Here and there, you'll make, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $8,000 just from being a matchmaker, taking other people's deals, other wholesalers that have deals available, and matching them to your buyers. And, you know, building a buyer's list, you can go out to all the real estate club meetings, you know, press the flash. You can call every single We Buy Houses guys on the web and get in their database. They're cash buyers as well. Go down to the foreclosure auctions. Those are the best ways to find real cash buyers in your market. So Chris, I hope that answers your question as a beginner. And you know, that's a very specific niched model. And a lot of people in the beginning, they just don't understand all the different aspects of real estate. So you're kind of being pulled in a lot of different directions. You'll see or find somebody that's successful in one niche, and you'll spend money and study it, and you don't really treat it like a business, so you don't make any money at it. And then next thing you know, you'll see a different strategy that someone else has been successful with, and then you buy that course, and then you'll try to do that. So Blue, yeah, I am a mentor. So I do have a coaching program, freedominvestingacademy.com/apply. There's a video on there. I'm talking to you directly. Then there's a questionnaire. You know, I can't take everybody. I have a very, you know, small amount of people that I work one-on-one with. And if you're interested in taking your business to the next level, you can definitely go to that site and apply. And, you know, I review those applications. I have my staff members review those applications. because, you know, we're looking to bring in more deals to our business and partner on deals. I have funding available, I have all the contracts and stuff that you would ever need. You're welcome, Blue. Thank you so much. But anyway, you know, it's like once you get deals going, it's a lot easier to continue to put deals together. But, you know, it's the hump right out of the gate that's the toughest. So, guys, those of you that are on the webinar, Paula, Chris, Dorothy, let's see some questions here. Vince, what kind of things are you guys experiencing in your market? What kind of challenges are you facing in your market? There's a lot of things going on right now. Real estate's really, really hot. I was reading some statistics in my market, and they're just mind-blowing. The amount of home sales that are going on that are on the MLS. That doesn't include, you know, all the deals that are being sold for cash that are not listed on the MLS. So there's a ton of them there. So here's another question that came in from Rick earlier. How difficult is it to find sellers? We were kind of talking about that a minute ago. Well, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be difficult. But the MLS has sellers all over there. You know, you've got to know what you're doing to make offers on the MLS. When you see distressed properties, you got to get out there. You got to go look at the house. You got to, you know, run your numbers, figure out what it's going to cost to repair the house, and then make your offer accordingly. Yeah, you can do blind offers and blanket offers, but in hot markets, it's just going to be really, really tough to just send over a blind offer. And a blind offer is basically when you send over an offer on a piece of real estate that you haven't seen yet. And if you're making offers on the MLS, it's a two-prong approach. Number one, the proper way is to actually draft a contract, and if there's any addendums that are needed, if you need to have a proof of funds letter, you know, I always include copies of my earnest check, copies of an option deposit. So I always write in an inspection option period, which is like 7 to 10 days. So for the first 7 to 10 days, I have the right to terminate the agreement for any reason whatsoever. And that's typical. An inspection period is typical in a real estate contract. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And I pay for that right. So I usually put up, you know, $50. And it's non-refundable $50 for the first 7 days. Whatever we agree to is an earnest money deposit. I'll basically send that to the title company. If it's $500 or $1,000, I'm protected in my option period. So, but finding sellers, I mean, you can do direct. Oh gosh, there's a ton of different ways. Sending direct mail pieces, that's one, but you don't need to just rely on that specifically. Networking, meeting other professionals, meeting agents, investors, insurance companies, title companies, attorneys. You have to continually build a network. And I didn't really start getting some traction in real estate until I started building a network. So it's very, very important to build a network. You know, probates, you know, getting probate leads. When there's probates that are in the county courthouse, the public records can be a gold mine. Bankruptcies, divorces, code violations, evictions. Those are a lot of other lead sources, but you have to find those folks. You got to do direct mail campaigns to them. You know, running signs. You know, we've really moved a bulk of our business to finding sellers online. So when we market for those leads, we do pay-per-click advertising. You know, cash offer, close in 10 days. We'll run banner ads on Google, Facebook, Bing, and those search engines. So when people are on there, if they do a search for a specific area or something like that, those ads come up. They click on those ads, they go straight to our website, they put the information in, and then boom, we got a lead. So pay-per-click advertising is huge. Inbound marketing, content marketing, building websites and blogs that basically give content to people. But you got to be a little bit more specific. You know, losing your house to foreclosure. You have to build a specific niche of losing your house, and you have to blog about that and put content on the internet about people losing their properties. And when people are Googling, then your articles will come up, and then they can get those links to your sites and get back to them that way. All right, here's a question from Chris. Ian, where is the best place to start as a beginner with the intention to go full-time? I think I answered that. I'm just cruising through these here. Kathleen, you're in Portland, Oregon. It's hard to market and find any discounted properties. Where is a good place to look? Well, where are you marketing for discounted properties? A discounted property is basically when you make an offer, and if you're not finding ugly houses, you're not going to get discounts. Pretty houses, the only way that you're going to be able to buy a pretty house on a discount is if a seller is behind on the payments, they lost their job, and they're 6 to 8, 10 payments behind. They're about to lose their house to foreclosure. So that's a very, very motivated list. So the public records can show exactly those motivated sellers. They may not be motivated at the time, but once there's a notice of default filed in the county courthouse and they're about to lose their house to foreclosure, they become very motivated. But if you're not getting that list and door knocking them, so you need to send postcards, send mail pieces to them, flood them with information, put flyers on their door, knock on their door, let them know that you can help them out. I mean, that's how you do it. That's how you really do it. And if you're not at that level to be able to explain to them, sell your company on why they should work with you, and know how to get the proper paperwork in place to control that property, and then not only that, be able to manage a team of people to go out and do this for you. It's just gonna take some learning. So you guys can come down to my event, ianspecialoffer.com/event. Get registered. Come spend 3 days with me and my team. So I have some amazing people. I don't know if you guys know this, but Zach Childress is going to be at this event. Zach is a near and dear friend of mine. He's a business partner, and he is one of my mentors in real estate. And those of you that don't know Zach Childress, he is an amazing person. So we are going to be at this event. Come down and spend 3 days with us, and you will learn more at this event than anything you have ever been to. All right, Paula, here's another question. The scripts and assignment contracts are great. I have spent some more time going through them because I'm not getting anyone willing to do the assignment. Willing to do the assignment. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. How do you approach it? Okay. If someone's not willing to assign or basically pay for an assignment agreement, then number one, you haven't done a good job at setting the expectation and explaining to them what this deal is. Number two, they're just not a motivated buyer, because you're only assigning contracts to buyers. You're not getting sellers to assign a contract to. A purchase agreement and option to purchase agreement are two completely completely separate. All right, hello from Zolpa. Billy, thank you so much. Share the scope. So, and basically, if someone's not willing to sign your assignment agreement, then they're not serious. So, I mean, I don't really know what else to tell you, because if somebody's serious, they're going to sign your agreements. So maybe you just have to be a little bit better at setting an expectation with both parties, the seller and the buyer. And you got to let them know. You just have to let them know that you are going to do what you say you're going to do. Give them the confidence that you can do what you say you're going to do. And also let them know if they don't move forward with basically putting their deposit down and assigning the agreement, then another buyer is going to do it. So you got to give a little bit of scarcity to the deal, That's why when you're doing showings, if you're driving buyers to a property, you don't do them at separate times. You drive everybody there at the same time. Let them all know, hey, this property is going to be sold to the person with the highest down payment if it's a terms deal. This property is going to be sold to the person with the highest bid. I've signed assignment agreements. I've had other investors sign assignment agreements. You just got to do a little bit better job of setting an expectation and explain to them what the deal is. Michelle, how do you get a list of code violations? That's a good question. Code violations are public record. Every municipality will have a basically code compliance department within, not necessarily the county courthouse, but whatever the municipality is. There's going to be like whatever the downtown area is, there's going to be a bunch of different county offices, the county recorder's office. Well, there's going to be one called code compliance. So you can either call them or go down into the office and say, hey, I want a list of code violations that were written in the last 30 days on residential real estate in this county or these zip codes. I've had them do it a couple ways. Sometimes they'll be able to send them to me on a PDF. Sometimes you might actually have to pay them 10 cents per sheet and they will print them on a piece of paper. But the cool thing about code violations are, number one, they're typically houses that are distressed, that have grass grown over them, windows broken, trash all over them. The neighbors are tired of looking at it. They call the city comes out and puts a code violation on it for one of those reasons. There could be a number of reasons. A fence is falling over, a tree is falling down, there's an old beat up car in the yard. So code violations is a great way to find vacant, ugly houses. And vacant, ugly houses are the fastest and easiest ways to do it. How many different code violations are there? There's a number of them. I don't know. There could be a laundry list of them. But the main ones are, overgrown grass. If the grass gets 2 feet tall. Anything that's really nasty on the property that's falling down, that could be a hazard to somebody walking up to it. If there's a tree that's fallen over in the front yard, if there's a car that's wrecked out front, if there's fences falling over, it's typically something that has to do with the distress of the property. There's mountains of trash building up. There's a lot of different reasons why. They're just called code violations, and that is public record. And Michelle, you can go down to the county courthouse, go down to the code compliance department, find them online. Sometimes you can do an open record search online, such as overgrown grass or unsafe building. Absolutely, that's what code violations are. And you can definitely find them. They're easy to find. Once you find them, you need to get that list and you need to drop them into a spreadsheet. If you can get them to email you one that already is in a spreadsheet format, then you can go to a service like clicktomail.com. And then you can load all those leads up and mail them postcards. Back to what I said about the postcard thing. Do you own a house? Does it need repairs? Are you behind on payments? Tap the pain, provide the solution, and leave a call to action. And then you can split test your message, so on and so forth. But those of you that are in my inner circle, there is marketing materials in there. Just go to the log into the inner circle website, go to the resource area, and there will be marketing materials in there. You can download those. You can make sure you edit them for your company, your phone numbers, your websites, and fire those out there whenever you get those. And make sure that here's another great golden nugget. On the return address, make sure you put address service requested underneath the return address. So if you have a P.O. Box 123, whatever, Dallas, Texas, underneath it says address service requested. And if there's a house that's vacant, because the post office marks houses that are vacant, and they will literally put a sticker on the inside of the mailbox, and it will say vacant. So the next time a mailman is going through that carrier route, they open up the mailbox, and if it says vacant, they will mark vacant on the postcard, take it back to the post office, and then they will send that to you. A lot of times they'll just send you a notification, and you have to go to the post office and pay 40, 50 cents for it. A lot of times they'll just forward it to your address. And then that's a hot lead. Whenever you get a postcard back that's marked vacant, you need to do everything you can in your power to find that owner. Go on the tax roll, see if there's an absentee address. Send them a handwritten postcard or a handwritten letter. Say, hey, I noticed your property at 123 Main Street is vacant and beat up. Are you behind on payments? Do you want to sell this property? Then, thank you, Shauna. Do you want to sell this property? Hey, I can buy your house cash. I can close quick. So on and so forth. All the things that I talked about, and then leave them a call to action. Call me today. Leave your number on there. You either direct them to a call center, run them to an 800 number, and put your phone. Just get a phone number on there. Call them back. Make them a cash offer. Make them a terms offer. Whatever the case may be. But that's how you attack code violations. And look, you can build a business just out of that one strategy right there, but you've got to put some systems in place to keep that going month after month, and you can expand it into different zip codes, different counties, so on and so forth. So you can literally find a lot of deals from code violations. All right, Chris. So he's been in the commissions selling security for 7 years. Want to make money. The only way to make $500 sale, I can commit to 5 to 7 hours a day as a matchmaker. 10K realistic. Your thoughts? I think you can make $10,000 a month doing that. Absolutely, Chris. But here's the key. Number one, building a list of cash buyers. If you don't have the matchmaker system, get the matchmaker system. I go into detail about cash buyers. Get it, ianspecialoffer.com/free. I'll walk you through the whole process, and then I'll walk you through the whole process kind of step by step, and then there is a link to get to the program. It's very, very inexpensive. Listen, guys, I've spent over $100,000 in my education on courses and boot camps over the last 10 years. I continue to buy products today. I don't know everything. I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, I continue learning. I'm more, obsessed with learning, and I love to learn. I never stop learning. So listen, your education is key. That's how you set yourself up. So yes, that can be 2 deals a month. If you spend 7 hours a day on matchmaking, you'll make more than $10,000 a month. I guarantee you that. All right, Paula. Have a first blog going? Yes, I want your permission to add your link to my basic website. I got to pay for the year. Building the future today forward.vpweb.com. Paula, go in the inner circle and leave a question. Basically, when it says ask a question, go in there and type that information in there, because I want that archived in my email, because whenever I hang this up. But yeah, we can definitely backlink on some stuff. Thank you. I had that backwards. County clerk. All right, Michelle, do you prefer to have your calls answered via service like Pat Live or voicemail? Okay. I like to have my motivated seller leads driven to a live call center. I only ask a couple questions because the reason is Pat Live, Answer First Communications, they are set up to make money off of you the longer that they spend on the phone. So if you're only asking a couple questions, then that's one way. Number two, you can drive them to a pre-recorded 800 number, Google Voice number that says, hey, this is Ian with 123 Investments. We buy houses. We can pay you cash and close fast. Please leave your name and number. One of our associates will contact you shortly. That's a way to do it for free. Now, it just depends on where you are with your business. I like when I'm paying for marketing, when someone picks up the phone and calls, I want a live person to answer that phone call. So the choice is yours. Drive them to your cell phone. Drive them to somebody that's going to pick up the phone. If you have a full-time job, drive them to a Google Voice number, leave a message, call them back on your breaks. That's what I did when I was working full-time years ago, in between trying to become full-time in real estate. So yeah, Michelle, you can scale it up to Pat Live, but you just have to think about what your budget is and what you're willing to spend. The best way is to drive them into a squeeze page online. Either, if you have a website, if you just have a landing page, so on and so forth, you can definitely get them to that page, get them to opt in, put their information in, and that lead comes to you directly. Then you can have one of your team members, your acquisitions manager, whoever you have pre-screening lead, calling them back. If you don't have that in place, then obviously you want to call them back. Do a little bit of research on the property, call them up, and then go through, and just go through the script there. There's scripts in the resource center in the inner circle. There's also a video in there on the training section, what I call, it is, what's the best way to describe this? The psychology of the negotiation, which I walk you through a process of, number one, building rapport. Number two, empathizing with them if there's something that's tragic happened in their lives, family member, so on and so forth. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a little bit of rapport and build some trust with them. And then I'm going to move to an education phase where I'm going to start educating them on the costs associated with selling their property. And then I'm going to try to find out a little bit more information about what they owe. So if I've built some rapport with them, I've got them to trust me a little bit. They realize that I'm a source of information to them. I can walk them through the closing costs, so on and so forth. So when I start asking them questions about their asking price, this is before I ever put an offer in front of them. You know, are there any liens that might need to be paid off at closing? You know, what kind of number are you looking at netting? I'm trying to figure out what their number is, because all sellers care about is what their net cash at closing is going to be. And if I can do a good job at building rapport with them, by the time I get to that, then they will tell me all the information I need. And then I can construct an offer based off of what they tell me. Paula. So can you do the same thing on a property that seriously needs upgrades to get the owner to sell? The property is not vacant. The owner is out of touch. So let me kind of break that question down. Can you do this? Can you do the same thing on a property that seriously needs upgrades? I'll split that up. So yeah, if a house needs a lot of repairs, just know that you're going to do the cash offer formula. ARV minus times 70% minus the cost of repairs. That's the easiest and fastest way to get to an offer price. That's if you're going to buy it. Now, if you're going to wholesale it, then you need to back out your profit. So ARV, which let's just say $100,000. So $100,000, you know, you verified through comparable sales data that the house will sell for $100,000 times 70%, which is $70,000, minus the cost of repairs. Let's say this one is really bad and needs a lot of work. It needs like $30,000. So let's say it gets us down to $40,000. So if we do $100,000 ARV times 70% minus $30,000, now we're down to $40,000. So if I know that I have my private money in place, or my hard money, or joint venture money partner, I can pay that person $40,000 for a house if it needs $30,000 in repairs. Now, if I'm looking to wholesale this house, I'm going to back out a little bit more. I'm going to back out, $5,000, $8,000. So my offer to the seller is going to be, $32,000. And then if I get the property under contract at $32,000, then yeah, I'm going to, sell it for try to $45,000, $50,000 even. And I'm going to market the property to my wholesale, I'm going to wholesale the property to my cash buyer database. If the property is vacant and the owner is out of touch, then you want to skip trace the owner. Findtheseller.com. There's a lot of skip tracing services that you can go to basically pay someone to do a public record search to find the seller. Find the seller. There's a lot of different subscriptions that you can use. If you're looking to wholesale properties, code violations, if you're doing marketing for distressed properties, you need to be able to find sellers very, very quickly, and skip tracing them is one of the, findtheseller.com. Thanks. Hang in with it. Thanks for the hearts, guys, on Periscope. Only reason I have this flipped around is because my phone, for whatever reason, doesn't come all the way down, so I'm not able to see the questions. So hey, type in a question so I can see if this thing's popping up down here. It may or may not. I'll leave it on here for a second like this so you guys can see me. Let's see, Paula, you got that. Vonage is a real affordable for the phone. Yeah, there is. Yo, hanging with it. A millionaire MK just joined. Maybe I just wasn't pulling that up all the way. So those are seeing there. Hey, guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing. If you have any questions about real estate investing, jump on here. Hey, if you want to come spend 3 days with me and my team and learn about real estate investing and learn how to take your business to the next level or get your first deal done and put cash in your pocket fast, ianspecialoffer.com/event. There's an event page on there and you can get registered. Go fast. These seats are filling up. We have a huge list of folks that are already coming, and the seats are filling up quick. Myself, Zach Childress, are going to be the educators. If you have not seen Zach Childress on stage, he will blow your mind. I'm a little bit more humble. I won't tell you I'm going to blow your mind, but I can tell you will learn a ton about building an automated real estate business. Michelle, do you have any particular service that you use for skip tracing? Findtheseller.com. Address, again, let's see here. Ian, special offer. ian.com/free. ianspecialoffer.com. I'm sorry, /event. And that will basically get you to the registration page. I'm going to type this up on a Word doc and show you on one of my computers here, just so you guys can see what's going on. All right, who else has a question? Michelle, I hope that findtheseller.com is a good skip tracing service. Just give me one sec. I'm going to pull this up. Make this a little bit easier for you guys to see. All right. Yellow postcards or white? I try yellow. And if you can do a handwritten postcard, man, that's killing it. If you're doing handwritten postcards are the way to go, right there. Ian Special Offer /event. Ian Special Offer /event. Come spend 3 days with me and my team. Direct mail, you'll get the best response out of handwritten. It's tedious. You know, have somebody else do it. Have some teenagers do it. Have some folks, you know, do it for you. Let's see here. Right there, once again. Could not see the site. Can you see the site there, guys? There you go. ianspecialoffer.com /event. Right there. Go check it out. You got it. You got it. Hanging with it. All right, Michelle, do you guys have another question? I know how these calls go. We're going to have a mad dash to the end. And then right when we're getting ready to end, I have a flood of questions come in. Yeah, I use a CRM. I use MailChimp. MailChimp's great. It's got amazing analytics. You can get a free version of it. It doesn't have all the autoresponders and all the real neat stuff that you can do with your email. But you can literally take your database and upload it into MailChimp. And they'll give you 2,000 free emails per day. I guess any 24-hour period. I have one of those set up, and I'll mail out cash buyers on there. Seller first or buyer first? Precision Jason, depends. I would say build a buyer's list first. Go find some whale investors in your marketplace to market some deals to. Go pre-screen them. Find out what they're looking for. I don't know if you can see this right here. What does that say? Dedicated, guys. You got to be dedicated to everything you do. 10X it, Grant Cardone style, man. You got to literally, if you're working a job and you want to get out of that job, sleep, spend some time with your family, wake up at 5. I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I go to bed around 11. I got a lot of things to do. I got a lot of businesses to run. I still have a lot of time to, that I have some things that I want to accomplish. So you got to get after it. You've got to get after it. Michelle, do you guys have any questions? Paula, Chris, Kathleen. I haven't seen you put in another question, Kathleen, after the discounted ones. I hope that answered your question on discounted properties. Chris, being a matchmaker. Vince, I haven't seen a question from you come over. Let's see here. The last question that came over here is sellers or buyers. Work with cash buyers. Cash buyers are great because they will come back to you over and over and over. So build a list. And here's the thing about real estate, guys. You have to build relationships. I'll say it again. You have to build relationships to get momentum in real estate. I have a lot of people ask me what was the turning point for me years ago when I went from knowing nothing about real estate to trying to learn the business, trying to learn the language of real estate. I was spending money on courses and I wasn't taking any action because I was sitting at home. I go to work, I come home. I go to work, I come home. I study. I wasn't out in the market meeting people. I wasn't building relationships. So it wasn't until I got a mentor to kick me in the butt to tell me what to do. So I started going to all the RIA clubs. I started doing all that. I started going, do you build out a website before you get started? No, you don't need a website. Are you doing a lot of lease option type deals in the current market? No, my niche has been selling with owner financing. I buy properties on terms. I have private capital. I buy the properties and I turn around and sell them with owner financing. Carry back a note. I have a whole program called Hidden Cash Flow Fortune on that. I'm not on this Q&A to sell you guys courses, but hey, I have created niched products based off of what I've done that made me successful. So I have rented tons of properties in different markets. I would do different strategies. So if I was in Florida or New York, or I would do basically lease options in those areas, just because the timeline to get a foreclosure back can take long time. So a lot of investors are real hesitant to transfer the deed to an owner, to a buyer, which they are now the owner. So in that scenario, you would sell the property on a lease option. Okay, when you sell the property on a lease option, you want to put them on a really short timeline. You want to give them anywhere from 8 to 12 to 16 months to get qualified for a mortgage. So they cash the deal out. And then once they cash the deal out, then they basically own the house. You made your profit, you paid off your debt, or whatever you obligated or agreed to pay. And then the borrower gets the property. So it just depends in different markets. Yes, you can do lease options in Texas. They're restricted. They're not illegal. You have to understand that if you hear somebody that says, oh, that's illegal, my first question to them is, where are you getting your information from? Cite your source. Was it written? Is it property code? Is it truth in lending? Is it RESPA? Where's it coming from? So if you don't know what you're talking about, then don't reiterate things that you hear. Because when you don't know what you don't know, you can say a lot of things that really won't be that effective. So just understand that pretty much every strategy is okay to do in every state. You just have to understand each state has a little bit different types of paperwork. They're called different things. And there's different, regulations and restrictions on what you can and can't do. So linking up with the right people. But back to the whole point with starting with buyers or sellers, I say start with cash buyers. Because investors are looking for multiple properties a month, multiple properties a year. Listen, there are investors that I know in my market that move hundreds and hundreds of properties. I'm not joking. But you have to have a niched business model to move that kind of inventory. Then you step up to guys that buy and sell notes. I've seen literally, how did I get started in real estate? I got started as a wholesaler. I got started as a matchmaker. So I'll get back to that here in a second. But so the scaling of the business, if you want to move a lot of inventory, then you have to have a niched model. And once I got into creating notes, we got into the note business. Then I was seeing acquisitions and sales of thousands of notes at a time. I just got a message from a good buddy of mine who works for a $10 billion hedge fund. And they buy non-performing notes. They get them re-performing, and then they season them for 12 months, and then they put them in tranches, pools, and then they sell them off. He sent me his tape before. I couldn't find a buyer that's willing to pay $300 million. Our hedge fund's still pretty active. Hedge funds. Listen, the thing about hedge funds is what you guys don't understand is the real players that are buying assets from banks, moving billions of dollars, they're not on LinkedIn. They're not going down to the local investor club meetings. These guys are ghosts. The real players. Now, yes, hedge funds are liquidity for large banks. Bank of America, Chase, Wells, they have a handful of funds that they do business with. Outside of that, everybody's trying to figure out how to get in. So yeah, you can see pools of, tape assets moving in a couple million, but the real players, 200 million, 500 million, billion, these guys are ghosts. And it was just I wouldn't say a fluke, but this was a client of mine that I met years and years ago, several years ago when I was cutting hair. He's just a guy that I know. I have a personal relationship with him now. So I sent him a message the other day saying, hey, are you guys offloading any tapes? He said, yeah, we have a $500 million reperforming loan package that we're getting bids on right now. So I didn't even ask him to send it to me just because I don't have any buyers, and I'm so consumed with other things and my other businesses, but it's pretty trippy. So Kathleen, all right, cool. So hey, Kathleen, get some information out there, stick to a niche, but the main thing to do is there's 3 things that you want to do. I'll answer that question in a second. There's 3 things that you want to do. You want to talk to sellers, you want to talk to buyers, and you want to make offers. And then you can build systems and build a team and build a real estate business out of that. So you just need to be talking to people. You have to talk to people. Real estate is a relationship business. You want to meet people, talk about real estate. The more you learn and the more you understand about real estate, the more confidence that you will have going forward. I know it's scary in the beginning, but you need to have a language of real estate, and you need to build relationships. It will come. Depending on how motivated you are to make it happen, will depend on how much information you put in your mind and how many people you're going to put yourself in front of. Is a real estate agent a good source for cash buyers? Yes and no. It depends. Every real estate agent is different. Every real estate agent is trying to get in the middle of a deal, so it really just depends. I'm an investor first, but I'm licensed. Mostly, I represent investors that are making offers. I bring deals to investors. I have a ton of builders that we're digging deals up to. We're wholesaling properties to investors that are looking to do scrape and new construction and stuff like that. So I don't really personally deal with, a lot of, I call them the retail folk, the people that are going down to a bank and getting qualified and buying, properties with conventional financing. I don't typically deal with that. I'm in Dallas. But real estate agents can be a great source, but you have to really kind of sift through them. So Kathleen, build relationships. The key is building relationships. That was a turning point for me. I started meeting other investors, hard money lenders, contractors, and I basically just started hanging out with them. I started going to their deals. I started to help, providing a value to them. That's the thing about real estate. You got to be able to provide value to folks. Go take them out to coffee. Ask them how you can help them out with their business. If you're in the Dallas area, I'm looking for deals, right? If you find a deal, bring it to me. If you don't know how to write up an offer, bring it to me. I can put it together. So that's value. It's the value exchange. You always want to have some type of value that you can offer someone else, and vice versa too. So if you're new and you're just kind of sticking your toe in the water, you got to think about building relationships and providing value to folks. So it's very, very important to do that. Awesome, Paula. LinkedIn got really compromised. Guzman Danny was saying he's a private lender. There's a lot of lenders on LinkedIn, and they're legit. They're bona fide, but you got to put a deal in. Hello from Ireland. Hey, Yaz, how are you? Thank you so much for joining. I'm Irish, but I'm not from Ireland. Ian.Flannigan. My father's name is George Patrick Flanagan, so that's a little kind of Scott-Irish there. So thank you so much. But yeah, Paula, there's a lot of lenders on LinkedIn, and they're legitimate. There's another one called Scotsman Guide. How can we send deals to me? Well, you got to be part of my, either a part of my inner circle, a part of one of my programs. If you're local to the area, that's a little different. But come spend some time with me. ian.specialoffer.com/event. Myself, Zach Childress, You will learn more at that event than you will learn at 10 events. I guarantee you that. Kathleen, I do belong to my local RIA and going to meetings, been meeting people. That's awesome. Keep going. You want to be the face that people recognize. You know, just meet people. You got to meet people. Meet cash buyers. The next thing you know what that you pre-screen that cash buyer. You know exactly what they're looking for. Then one day you get an email like, "Oh my gosh, that guy Doug, that he'll buy that property." So basically, contact the person that sent it to you. Either get an agreement in place to co-market the property, or get an option on the property and then put that property in front of your cash buyer. Mark it up. If they say yes, you just made $5,000. So you got to get out there. You got to put yourself out there. Kathleen, you got it. You're welcome. My son is a partner. He's a people person, so we're working on it. Awesome. Build relationships. I have some personal consulting clients. I was actually on the phone today with a guy that's in Nashville, Tennessee, and he's literally killing it. So I started working with him 6 months ago, and he did his gross revenue was $250,000 last year. And the things that I've helped him do, put systems in his business, help him iron out some of his processes, putting a project manager in place. He told me today that he's going to do $100,000 of profit in his first quarter. So literally, I'm able to double his revenue, and he's probably going to end up doing, anywhere from $500,000 to $700,000 in revenue right out of the gate. So, there's a lot of things that you can tweak in your business, but if you don't know how to, get there, then you need somebody that can help you out. And that's what I did. I mean, listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I've spent over $100,000 on my education, and I continue to spend money on my education. I never stop. My mind is like a sponge. I continue to absorb information. So guys, I'm at the top of the hour here. If you have any last minute questions, please type those in. I'm going to show you one more time. If you want to get started in real estate, you can go to that site right there, ianspecialoffer.com/free. That is the fastest way to make money in real estate. I'll send you some free videos on that. And if you want to come spend 3 days with me and Zach, then right there, ianspecialoffer.com/event. That is the page that we have set up that you can go to and get information from. And basically get down to the event. Let's do this. So Kathleen, Paula, thank you so much for joining. Michelle, Chris, Dorothy, Vince. Awesome. I enjoyed it. So, hey, thank you so much for joining. I hope you got a lot out of it. So once again, hey, this is Ian Flanagan.